Okay, everybody. I am continuing my project from yesterday. Let's make the code bigger so you can see. I am creating a tree view control from scratch in React because it's pretty easy. And I also like to create my own controls because they feel like I have better control of how they work, and I can do more interesting things with them. So last time I was streaming, we created a basic control. Let's go ahead and start it up. I'm using a TypeScript project I created with Create React App using the TypeScript template. So yeah, start. This is all in Git. If you want to go to my GitHub site, here at this address, the project, this specific project is in the subfolder of this particular GitHub. So you're welcome to download it, play along, whatever. Okay, so here's my tree view control. It's working off of just some dummy data I've put in here, and these aren't exactly tree view standard symbols, but we can change those with styling. I'm just mostly interested in getting to the part where we can drag items from one part of the control to another part of the control, or maybe even to a different control. So now we have the control basically working. Now I think I'm going to start getting into this. I want to show, I want to make the data in the control a little bit bigger. And let me move this down so I can see the chats. Done. Okay, so I want to make this control with more data. So the data was coming in from here in the app here. So let's just review really quick how this control looks. So here's the data. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Here's the data. So I have some array of company objects. A company object has a collection of employees, and an employee object has a collection of knickknacks. And I'm starting with a collection of companies. So what I hope you can see here is that there is a diverse array of kinds of objects to view in the control, totally different kinds of objects that we want to display differently. And the displaying differently is basically symbolized by the fact that I'm prefixing text. This is just to prove that I'm using a different piece of React code to display each level of the tree. And so the way that we accomplish this is when we render the tree view, we tell the tree view where it's going to get its items from. And then we have this special function called an item query, which the tree view uses to ask about each individual item. And we also have we provide a function that tells the tree view what kind of item type it is. We can make this get item type to actually take an item, so you can query the items if you want to do it that way. But for my case, it's pretty context aware, so I can just make a simple function that returns a string. So the query item is simply a lambda that takes the actual item and it's the type, and then using a simple switch, we return the data that the tree view control needs to know. For instance, it needs to know where does it get the children of that item to expand the control. So if I have a company and I expand it, I want to show children, and this says, well, if you're a company, it's the company's employees. If you're an employee, it's the employee's knickknacks. And if you're a knickknack, there are no children. So that's the end of the line. The next thing the tree view control wants to know is, well, how do I render this guy? And so I just made some simple rendering functions that it will call to render that control. And the rendering functions take the item So these functions can be aware of what kind of item it is. So the render company item knows it's getting a company. Same with employee and knickknack. So we can do different things here. Like if I wanted to make the company, something more interesting, maybe I could style it. So I'll say style equals, background, background. We'll say like light. Let's do cyan, just crazy color. And then now we see companies are styled this way. But anyway, so that's the idea here, is that we can provide a custom renderer for any part of the tree view control as long as we know the type. And then we always have to tell the tree view control what is the type of the children that you're doing. And again, this get child item type can take an item, so you can query the item. If you're using objects, you can query the items constructors. All right, now the tree view control itself, I'll just explain a little here, is okay, let's go to the tree view control. So this tree view control is just a plain React component with tree view properties, which we just saw passed in. These tree view, there's just 3 of them. The source, the query, and the item type. And then we have this, and then internally, the tree view is creating an expandable node as a wrapper around all of the items in the tree. And the expandable node handles things like whether or not the node is expanded, how to, it does the work of getting at this query data and kind of digesting it so that the code in the tree view control looks really clean. So, for instance, when we're rendering a node and we render this arrow here, so here's where we render that little arrow. There's a click event, so if you click on that arrow, it will expand the node or not expand it. And so, anyway, and then here's how we render it. And the node is basically this an interpreter, so that we can inside the tree view control, we can have a perfect API on the node, so we don't have to add API to the models we're passing into the tree control. That's the idea. Okay, so this is working pretty nicely. Now we're in the process of adding some functionality. So let me make these. I want to make these controls have a little bit more data. So here, when we render the company, so I'll just add a little constructor here, and we'll just put some stuff. Actually, no, let's just do something simpler. Let's just have 2 new employees. Dupe. Or, oh, okay, I'm going to be clever. I'm going to be more clever. I'm going to be like, never mind. And then the employees will have multiple things, like they'll have a tag, they'll have a poster, they'll have a lanyard, stuff you might find in an office. And okay, and then that's everything. Yeah, that's everything we need there. And then we have the 2 companies already. So now when we expand, we'll see 2 employees with 3 items. Okay, exciting. Okay, now, what do we want to do? I want to, okay, so I had this button here to expand all, and I want to start, this is something that often happens with tree view controls. You'd like to expand to some particular item. So let's do this. So, okay, so in the index here we have, nope, in the app, we have the expand all button, and I'm going to add one more button here, and we'll put these inside a row. Oops. By the way, a row is just a silly little component I invented to make it simpler to apply row styling when you have something like this. Quick fix. All right, so I want an expand all button, and I also want an expand to, and this button I'm going to just pull it off of our list of data here. So I'm just going to say items 1.employees 1 dot interesting. I'm just going to do to this, and then we'll do knickknacks later. Employees 1 dot knickknacks to, so second employee, their last knickknack. Okay. And it was totally not happy there because something wrong. Children is assigned a value but never used. Line 41. Oh. Why did that not cause a problem before? That should have totally caused a problem before. Fine. Mouse event handlers defined but never used. Line 7 of Treeview. Is anybody around? Hey, got a few watchers. That's nice. Okay. Feel free to post some questions if you want. Okay, so why is it complaining? Line 7. Oh, we never used the mouse event handler. Yep, why did that work? Fine. Okay, I have no idea why that even worked. And now we are displaying something. Okay, I know what's going on. So in our button code in the app, here, it does not like, oh, that's why. I'm trying to show an object when I really just wanted to show the name. So now it should work. There we go. And all right, so now we have our 3 buttons. So let's get the expand all to work. So we're going to have some methods. Const expand all is equal to some function. Const expand to employee is equal to some function. And then const expand to knickknack is equal to some function. All right, and so this one, let's just add an on-click to all of them. On-click equals expand to, okay, and then this one, that one, that one. Okay, so expand all. Now we're going to code by intent. Oh, there's a way to change these spaces. Oh yeah. Convert view. Nope. I want change. There we go. 4 spaces. There we go. And let's do change spaces again and convert file. That didn't really work. Okay, fine. Okay, coding by intent. What do we want? How do we want expand all to work? Darn, I'm stuck because I'm thinking like a WPF control and like a desktop app. But in React, there's not this sense of a, hey, control, I want you to expand. Okay. Poof. Poof, poof. Yeah, in React, there's not this sense of being able to tell a control that I want you to do a thing. It needs to be controlled via the control state. And you can control the control state. Okay, fine. This is kind of... So one way we could do this is we could pass a property to the control that says whether it's expanded or not. But then that means we control it. That property is up here, and we kind of have to have this two-way communication, so the control can say that it is if that all expanded state changes. This is like a command we want to send to a control. Okay, I've never done this before, and it's probably wrong, but I want to try. Okay. This is probably wrong, but let's try it. Okay, I'm going to have an optional parameter on the tree view control called an expand listener is equal to expand listener. Okay. So where should the expand listener come from? It should be part of this app control. Oh, what am I thinking? Oh, man, I'm like totally stuck. This is really puzzling me because this doesn't work that way. What I want is a function that I can call here, and it will initiate an action on the tree control. All right, so let's think about it from the tree view, standpoint. Holy cow, I didn't think that this would be so tough. But it's it's a single page app programming. It's a different kind of model than you expect. The desktop is more imperative. You're holding on to these things, and this not so much. Okay, so the tree view, the tree view knows about its nodes. This is the complication here. Is this node, this expandable node in the tree view control, is only known in the tree view control. This is the thing that you'd want to say, hey, expand your children. All right, so let's start here. Mr. Node guy, we're going to expose two functions. I won't write them both. I'll just write the first one. So we want to expand children. Okay. And this will be and we'll say recursive. Expansion is a Boolean, and it's normally false. So when we say expand children, no, because like this expanded. Let's do this. We'll have this expand and expand children is normally we're not going to expand the children, but we could expand all. We'll basically set that to true. All right, so expand should basically do this. This dot expanded is equal to true, and then we say this dot children dot for each child dot expand. Where'd expand all go? What? Expand all? Do I have an expand all? I guess it's just being, oh, it's an any. Oh, no. Foobar. Okay, so yeah, this is a good example. When something is hard to do, it means your architecture is wrong. Okay, so this is why my architecture is dopey. This expandable node lives alongside this tree view. And when a tree view is created, it creates these expandable nodes on the tree view. So the expandable nodes don't truly know about their children. And I think that that's a problem. I think the expandable nodes need to know about their children. But now we need to figure out the right place to do this conversion, because if this conversion is happening in the constructor of every tree view control, we only want to do this conversion once. Okay, I'm going to try this a different way. I'm going to take this off of here. And I'm going to put it on here. It's probably wrong. So we want to expand children also. Well, let's just leave it. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just do this. So if we're expanding this control, yeah. Okay, so here's something that's a little off on this particular tree view control. There's no sense of a root. There's a root here on the company that breaks down to 1, but why is there no root at the full level of the tree control? Now, not all tree view controls are like that. See, this tree view control knows how to, when it's rendering its children. So it has a node itself that it renders. So when I created this tree view control here, I gave it an item source. But when we render the actual tree view control, so yeah, when we render a, oh man, so easy. Render children, we're rendering a tree view when we render children. So the children are here. But when we render it, we render a row. This is so confusing me. Let's style you so we know what we're looking at. So we'll give it a margin of, or padding of 5 pixels, and then a background red. So that'll change it. All right, so we're rendering brain. Come on, work, brain. Work. And then when I expand the company, I see the little employees here, and I see the knickknacks all in red. And so for each company, it's rendering this node. So when I pass in the company children, they're getting encased in nodes. And what I'm doing here is I am rendering the arrow. Then I'm rendering the node. Where am I getting the node? It's coming up from render node. Aha. When I render the tree view control, all I'm doing is I'm rendering the child nodes. All right. That's all right. So I'm being confused by this name. F2 child nodes. Okay. All right. So render F2 should be render child node. Actually, that can still be render node, I guess. Okay, but when we render a node, we render its children, we render itself. Okay, and now notice that when we render the tree view control, yeah, I made a mistake here. Okay, I shifted this node concept down one. So time to move back to my picture session. What happened to my camera? Oops. How are we looking? Gotta slip down. Okay. Let's draw. So let's go back to our whiteboard. Okay, so what's the deal? A tree, what is it? What is so a tree view control can be thought of as some single node that has some UI to display the node, and then some children that can expand. Actually, the expansion arrow is going to be like this. And then when we expand it, we're going to see more these children expanded as nodes, and they will look the same. There'll be some kind of UI with an expander to open that thing. So what this tells me is this guy is the root. This guy is the children. And that's the common element. So this is the part I'm missing for my control and why I'm so confused and why what I'm doing is hard. So I need to refactor my Treeview control to be root-based rather than children-based, or rather than just item source. That's how and I'm questioning myself because in the WPF world, the Treeview control starts out as a list, and you give it items. This still might be the correct thing to do, but the tricky part here is this worked in WPF because your control is a control that you could actually do stuff to. Like you could grab the control and you could say, hey, expand everything, and like it would just you could think of expanding the whole control, and because it's aware of its items and whether or not they're expanded. Now we can still do that with this Treeview control, and we want to so like the Treeview control that we have here, because there's items here, there's no sense of it being expanded or not. There's each node could be further expanded. But we don't have a handle to any like particular node. I'm realizing that one way that WPF solved this, so I'm trying to be clever here. One way that WPF solved this was when you defined, you would define your control in XAML, and he would say, so here's my control, and then you would say the template for this control looks like this, and for the items in this control, there's a template, and the template would contain something for deciding what it looked like, and then you bind, and the template this is expanded would bind to some property on the objects that it's tied to. And so you would have like the properties you would expose and is expanded on there. That's not the philosophy I'm going for with this Treeview control. This Treeview control, I just want it to work on any kind of collection, and I don't want to have to make you, as a developer, code this stuff. I just want it to be a little more automatic without you having to change the objects coming in. So expand all. What does expand all mean here? It means that we're going to expand all the companies. I think, okay, I think I can do this. Okay, I think I understand now. Let's start with expand all. That'll make us actually write everything. So back to the app. When we do expand all, what we're saying is we need a handle to that tree view control so that we can mess with it. That will work. So we're not going to just render tree view straight out. This could break everything. I don't even know if this is going to work, but let's try. Let's try, shall we? Okay, so I really hate this. So hate it. Let's try it in here first. I don't like putting it in the object, but we're just going to say my tree control. No, this is wrong. This is so wrong. It needs to be consistent because the render is going to get called every freaking time something changes in the app. We don't want the tree control changing, but I think we might break some React stuff if we do what I'm trying to do here. Let's find out. So the app, this is the company tree is equal to, I don't even know if I can do this. Let's see if I can do this. This seems wrong. Yeah, okay, let's say the company tree is a tree view. That's what it is. Okay, everybody agree? It's a tree view. We have a constructor which takes props of this type. We call the super with the props. Hooray. Then we say the company tree is equal to, will this even work? This will not work. This will not work, no way. Tree view. Told you can't do that. Why? Why can't you do that? Yeah, I'm totally barking up the wrong tree. Dang it. Well, this is a nice problem, isn't it? Slippery. How do we tell the tree view control? How do we tell that control at will that we want to expand it? Okay. New plan. This is dumb. This is so bad. That's gone too. Okay. All right. Bear with me here. This could be horrible, but let's try it this way. Hey, tree view, I'm going to give you an additional property, and this is going to be called a connector. Handle connect const handle connect is equal to some function. Okay. And on the tree view control, we'll put you over here. The tree view control has a prop called the connector. The connector is a function that doesn't return anything. All right. Failed to compile. Give me a break to save it again. Save. Why are... Who's returning a tree view? Tree view, line 94. What are you doing? 94. Why are you complaining? Because you don't know what it is? That's fair. Oh, I didn't have the attribute connector. No. We don't want to make that required. It's just an option. This is so kludgy. It's wrong. I can tell it's wrong already, but I don't know any other way to go. So let's try. Let's see what happens. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. Y, Z, connector, question mark. There. We may or may not provide it. Hooray. Why? Connector does not exist? What are you talking about? Okay, yeah. Okay, so what do we want to have happen when this connector happens? We want to say this dot, so bad, this is wrong, I can tell this is wrong. Expand item. No, this is so wrong. This expand item. Oh, this expand item is equal to expand item. Oi. And so this takes expand item, which is a function, which takes an item of type any and returns a null. Not null, a void. Okay, so we'll get the expand item and we'll attach it here to our control. So we'll say expand tree item, just whatever. Expand item, I'll name it better later, is some function that takes an item. Yes, of a type any and returns nothing. All right. We've now connected. Why are you unhappy? Because I put equals. It's this. There may not be such a thing. Okay. Now we have a handle to it. So wrong. So wrong. Expand all. If not this dot expand item, then return. There's nothing to do. For no items dot can't type. Items dot for each item. What do we want to do to it? We want to say this dot expand item I. Hooray. Okay. Why? Because we don't think that we might have it, but I know we have it. That's okay, fine. If this dot expand item, we'll let the compiler help us out write prettier code because it'll know that it's not null if it passes this. Okay, if we have expand item, then oh what? It's undefined. What that should have anyway. Whatever. I'll do it my way. Okay, so this should go through and expand everybody. Right? Okay. This is so dorky. This is so dorky. It didn't like the handle connect because it needs this guy in it. The handle connect is going to take interface connect props. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just make it simple. Make it simple. The connector is a thing that takes this, copy, paste. So the connector is going to say, hey, call me with your expand item. You bet. And so now we're in our tree view. We have a function on me called expand item. And I'm going to declare it this way because I don't want there to be any question about the binding of this. It's going to take an item, any, poof, poof, poof. Huzzah. Okay. This is such a kludge. Okay, so when we do the expand item, how do we do that? We need to go through our nodes. And I'm going to do a premature optimization here. Forgive me. Private the node map. This should actually be private too. Private F2. I like to declare the privates this way. Node map is equal to a new map of any to an expandable. Why are you not recognizing that? It is an expandable node, and I have this new map. And why are you not happy with it? Okay. Oh, I misspelled it wrong. How did I spell it? Maybe it was just stupid. Okay, there you go. We have a node map. And so we want to say a new node is equal to this new expandable node. Like that. Boom. Oh. Item. Oh. I did it wrong. Sorry. Okay, for each item, we are going to make a new expandable node. We are going to push the new node into the child nodes. And we are going to add it to the map. This dot node map dot set item new node. Okay, so now we have a map so that we can quickly get, there's the end of that, and that, and that. Okay, so now we have a way to get at the node. So when we say expand item, we say this dot node map dot get item, boom, question mark, dot expanded is equal to true. Why don't you like this? Because it may not be an object. Fine. Const node is equal to this. If node, then node.expanded is true. Okay. That did it. Save. This is no way. It's not going to work. 3, 2, 1, boom. I told you it would not work. Expand item is not a function. Oh, that's because we didn't connect it. Okay. I knew I made a mistake. Okay. In the constructor of the tree view control, here, we have this connector thing that they asked for, and we just need to give it this guy. I'm not sure, this will probably not work in the constructor, but I just want to convince myself it won't work, because I don't think expanded item exists at this point. It might. Props.connector? No. Connector, question mark. If you have it, then call it with this dot expand item. Maybe we'll have it. Why are you unhappy? Expected a colon. What? All right. If props.connector, then do that. Didn't work like I thought it would. Okay, this will probably not work, but because I don't think we have a connector at that point. Yeah, I don't think the connector there is correct. So we got to do this on component did mount. So we have to do this after the component mounts. So Bloom, if this dot props dot connector, this dot props dot connector expanded. Okay, so at this point, when we get to component did mount, we have everything's set. Now I think that's the thing that was broken. Okay, now maybe it'll work. No. Okay. Let's see where our problem is. Console.log expanding. And we know that we have a company item here, so we'll just say item.name. It's me. Item.name. Okay, and then we'll say console. Let's just do it all in one shot. We have an item.name, and then we have a maybe a node. I don't care. It'll just tell us if we got a node or not. F12. Boom. Show me what we have here. Ooh, I've got a bunch of junky stuff to refresh. Okay, and then expand all. Oh, it didn't do anything. Well, that's curious. So we say console.log expand all, and do we have an expand item? This dot expand item. And let's just also do here handle connect with the expand item. Yeah. All right. So we got handle connect. And it's it did get a function. Interesting. Okay, so we got the handle connect, and it looks like it connected it properly. And we did get expand all. Oh. And we did get to expand all, which did this, and oh, I'm dumb. If not, this expand item. That's why it didn't work before. Oh, fine. Okay, now maybe it'll work. Boom! Worked. Okay, cool. I'm happy. So let's get rid of these console logs. Don't need to understand what's going on anymore. Oh, yeah, it recompiled, which makes sense. It didn't keep the state on the recompiled. That's fine. I don't care. Handle connect. All right. Save, expand all. Boom. Okay, that totally worked. But it feels like, man, it feels like a kludge. But I don't know that there's a better way to do this, because because we're in web programming world. These objects are not in the same kind of process space that you think of in a typical desktop application. Okay, so we made expand all work. That's cool. Let's expand now to do this thing where we expand to a particular employee. Okay. So our connector gives us this function called expand item. Okay. Expand item should take another property called, nope, not there yet. It should just be, expand item should be able to be, we should just be able to overload it to find the item. And this should actually be pretty fast. Well, yeah, well, maybe not that. Depends on how deep the tree is. Yeah, should actually be pretty, because we have that lookup table. We should be able to expand any particular item. Okay, all right, fine. So expand to employee should be this. So expand all, it's going to look like expand all, but we're going to do this instead. We are going to say, this will be fun. This will be so fun. Yeah, so obviously we don't want to do that. I don't even know if this is really needed, because it's impossible to get to this function. Yeah, I don't think we need to have that check, because it would be impossible. We can't even get to this function until it's displaying the button, and we can't get to these button displays until we've actually constructed the tree view control. Could be wrong, but you know, we'll find out if we're wrong pretty quick. So we don't want to do this anymore. We want to say this dot expand item items 1 dot employees 1. So it's going to expand yes. I'm trying to think of, like, sometimes there's like the we'll write expand to item later if we want to do that. So we have expand item, so we're going to expand employees with that first employee, and we have to do this items 1 to employees 1. Okay, great. So that's not going to work. So if we refresh the page and we do this, it's not going to work because it didn't find it. But that's easy enough to fix. So here in expand item, if node will expand it, else we recurse this dot node, our child nodes, dot for each node. We want to do something. Huh. We need to know if it found the child. So this should return. So if there's a node, boom, we want to return true. Actually, we'll just return the node. Boop. And that means we need to change the signature for expand item, but the compiler will tell us that in a minute. So if n dot expand No, no, oh no. No, no. No. We can't do it. Okay. Durfy. Durfy, Durfy, Durfy. Okay, well I can't do this because we haven't, the nodes don't exist until the tree view control is created, and the nodes don't know about the nodes don't know about their children. Dang it. Because this control here is, actually we can bring it back up to the whiteboard. This control here is pretty much independent of its children. Doesn't really know a lot about what's being rendered now. These children are nodes, but these nodes are not connected to the ones below. Dang. We have to so what I'm thinking of is perhaps I keep hitting this roadblock that this expandable node structure, it does have this concept of children, but they're not children in the sense of expandable nodes. Okay, well, why don't we just do that then? Why don't we do that? So let's come back down here. Okay. Not gonna do this yet. All right, so refactor here. So this expandable node, okay, the only tree view that we really, this tree view control renders additional child tree view controls. And those guys will have an item source, but alternatively, you could have a root. The root would have to be an expandable node. Yeah, so let's do it that way. So the expandable node has children, but this getter of children is backed by a private children, which is of type expandable node. Boom. It's created lazily as needed. Okay. Is an expandable node array. And or undefined. Which I guess we could just do like that. Okay, now when we request children from one of these guys, we say if not this dot children. So if we haven't created any children, then we need to create them. So we say this dot children is equal to, okay, so const child items is equal to this. The children is equal to child items dot map. Child item is a new expandable node. And this needs the item. The item, comma, let's do, we need more information here. Const info is equal to query item. Okay. Tell us about your item. Child items is info.children, which I guess we can just do this way. And like that. And then we want child maps to a new expandable item, this, comma, we need the query item, which is going to be info dot, when we create the new Treeview control, we always pass down the same item query, right? Yeah, it's always the same item query being pushed down. Yep, okay, so we can just keep doing that. This dot query item, comma, oh, that's all we, and then item type, which is info dot get child item type. The item. Yes. Okay, and then we return this dot children. Okay, so now we have these expandable nodes. So we've connected the expandable nodes to their children in a lazy way. So we only do this as needed. Okay, now we need to change the way that we render the child tree control. And the child tree control is here. So instead of saying item source, we're going to say root is the node. Yes, and that means we need to come up here to our item source. We either have a root which is a expandable node, which may or may not exist. Or we have an item source, which is something that will make expandable nodes depending on what the item source is. So now in the constructor, there we go. So if props.root, if we have a root, then we say yeah. Yes. You can say this dot child nodes is equal to props dot root dot children. Okay, so we know that. And why are you not happy? Or undefined is that. Okay. Then we say props.root.children. Oh, we actually need to do that. If props.root. Yeah, we can do this. We can do this. Or an empty array. That's fine. Okay. Then we say this dot child nodes dot for each child, we want to say this dot node map dot set dot child node dot item comma the node. All right, so we create the same map. Else if props dot item source, if we have one of those guys, we do what we did here. And put that in. Else error throw error must provide a root or items source. There we go. All right, so now so now we have this concept of a root, which now connects the tree view control, allows us to, all right, so we shouldn't have broken anything. So we come in here and we refresh. We should still be able to expand and contract things. We should be expand all like we did before. Boom. Excellent. So now we want to expand to fully 99, which we can do now in our expand item. So if we found it, we want to do this. Otherwise, we're going to go through the node, yes, else node dot children, no, if node, else we didn't find it. So we got to go through the child nodes on this tree. Should be interesting. This may or may not work. Okay, so we have a node. If oh no, it can't recruit the child node list. Sorry. I want to recurse, but I'm realizing that there's a little bit of a discrepancy between these two functions, or there's a weird relationship here. So we're back here to the fact that the true base of the tree is not like a node with a root. It's a collection that we turn into expandable nodes, but then once we get into the expandable nodes, we have to keep working with them. All right, so if we don't find the node, okay, so what we want to do is we want to say found node, or we'll just do this. If, oh gosh, okay, if node dot expand item, yeah, so there's going to be an expand item on these guys. If node dot expand item, then node dot expanded. Oh, there's no node. There's no node. Okay, fine. Just call node expand item. What's the problem here? Why are you suffering? Node dot expand item. That's it. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Okay. And this is where we'll do the magic. So simple case. If the node's at the top of the tree, we'll expand it. If it's not, we're gonna have to dive into the child nodes and expand those guys. Okay. And this node map is only needed. It's only needed in this one lookup case. So this is actually kind of overkill. I'll leave it there because I don't want to get bit by it later, but we only need it for that weird first case where we don't have nodes. So let's add expand item to the node here, and it's going to look like this. It's going to look very similar. So children here. Fine. Oh, nope. Yeah, expandable node. Yeah, it does have a render. Okay, expand item. So we do need this. Look, this is a premature optimization, but you don't want to discover this later when people have gigantic trees. So we're going to have also a private node map, which is just like the other one, which is a new map, any to an expandable node like that. Why does this happen like this? If I just paste it, it suddenly works. That's weird. Looks like a bug. All right, so if we don't have the children, then we say boop, boop, boop. We'll just do them all together. Like that. So we're gonna say new node is equal to new expandable this dot node map dot set the child to the new node. Okay, now we have a map of items to nodes, and we need to return the new node so it's properly mapped. Okay, so now we have the map, and so when we do this, okay, same thing going on. We try to find it in our children. If we do find it, we return. Else, for each of this dot children, for each what could be undefined. This dot children, for each child, we're going to do some work here. And if you found a child there, we're coming back out now. So if you expanded and you found something, then this dot expanded is true. So it'll trivially expand if it finds it. But if we're going down a tree, if it didn't find it, and if I'm searching my children and I didn't find it, but somewhere deep down I did find it, I want to expand coming back out, or otherwise it doesn't make any sense to do this. So that's the magic sauce that'll expand down to the particular item. So that should work. No! Hooray! No children. Okay, so why? So children says, if I don't have children, then I'm going to map it. But why would I not have the children? The map should be done. Console.log children ended up as, oh, it might be null. That's why. Empty array. I prefer returning empty arrays over null because you get errors, and most of the time, 99% of the time, this behaves just like you want it to. Expand. Oh, we tried everybody, and it didn't work. Pretty sure. Let's put in the expanded code. Get expanded is return this dot expanded. This is proper anyway. Set expanded is a Boolean. Oh no, it's a value Boolean. Okay, now we're going to do the action. This is what we're supposed to actually do. This dot expanded is equal to the value, and then we execute that. But what we want to do is we're saying if value, then we want to say console.log expanding JSON, let's just say this dot item dot name. Oh, still got that turd there. Let's just fix that. That's so annoying. Refresh. Each child should have a neat key prop. I agree. So under the tree view, when we're expanding our children, we should have keys in them. Doi. Can't avoid this. We have to add ability to get a key. So get key for item any. Oh, I guess we can. No, we don't have to calculate the key. String. So we need to have a get key in there. So back here to app, the get item queries, the query item, and we need to return a get key. And get key should take an item and the index. And it's just going to return. And so this is the company. We can just return. So this would be item as company.name. Just the way it is, folks. React forces you to do this if you want to do the coding properly. There's not a good way around this. So in the case of employees, we want the employee name. I'm just assuming that they're all the same, but I mean you can always define how you want. And now in the case of the knick-knack, we just need to know the index. Do it like this. Index. Okay, so now when we're rendering the items in the tree here, oh, it still doesn't like it. Oh, because the item query. Why aren't you happy with that then? Item query, it needs to be this other kind of thing. Oh, because it needs to have an index. So, oh, where are we? Tree view. Get key takes an item and an index. Number, not a string. It's a number. Okay, and so then when we're mapping the children, no.render. So here's where we render the children. So when we render the children, we render it as a tree view. So where's the map? .map. Here we go. Child nodes.map. So into a div, the key is equal to node.key. That's it. And so we add a getter up here into this guy. So we are going to say get key is going to be return this dot query item, this dot item dot let's see, should have let's have an info on this. Private info is tree view item info, which is null. And then we have an info, a get info, which it says if not this dot info. I don't know, why are you unhappy about that? Fine. Okay. Get info. If not this dot info, this dot info is equal to query item. This dot item, comma, this dot item type. This is, oh no, no. Yeah. Is equal to that. So there we go. That'll query it. And then we just return this dot info. Okay. So now we have a quick way of getting at the info. So anytime we see this query item type, we can just replace it with Control H. It's info. Let's go to place them all. Oops. Okay, that's dumb. Z. Okay, fine. Let's do it the hard way. Info. Oh, we're actually not calling the query item here. We're calling it here. Okay. Return this dot info. This dot info. Return this dot info. Dot get key. This dot item. It needs to go. Oh no. Poop. Oh. Like that. Okay, fine. There we go. And now we have to fix it below where we are providing the key. Somewhere we did a node.key. Yeah, so this is node.getKey, node.item, comma, and then we know the index here. Node dot, actually there we go. Save. Not happy still because the get query is wrong. Didn't like the item query. So query item has the and what is it? Should always return the same thing. Oh, it returns a string, or it's always returning a string. What are you talking about? There's different types here. Item, any, item type, string, returns, a bunch of employees, bunch of strings. Why are you unhappy? Because no, okay, these are so confusing to read. Is it because this should be able to return an array of any or null? If I return this as any, and then I look at this guy, how are they different? Oh, it takes poof. That's okay. That's okay. It was working before. I don't need to fix those. Dude. So close. What's wrong here? What is wrong? They all have a get key. So this is saying this thing is not assignable to type Treeview item info. Types of get key are incompatible. Oh, yep, they are. Sure are. Sure are. There we go. And now if we rebuild. Okay. No more errors there. Expand. Boom. Okay, so let's clear. Clear the console. Expand. So it says we get to the employee 59 and we expand it. Okay. But why didn't we expand stuff coming out? Oh, because we want to return the node here. Because we found it. That makes sense. Okay, so we need to do the same thing inside the tree view control when we're expanding it. Yep. Yeah, this is dorky because I could fix this by creating a fake root node. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's not have child nodes anymore. Let's just we'll make a fake root node. That will fix us totally. That will, yes. Yes. Okay, so we have a private root, which is a expandable node. No more child nodes. If there's a root, we say, yeah, you know, it's like we're duplicating code everywhere. This will reduce. This will eliminate the duplication. Yeah, this makes sense. This root is equal to props dot root, which no, yes. So yes. We don't need this because we will be creating it from here. Else, if there's an item source, we say this dot root is equal to a new expandable node. And we need is an item, which there isn't any, so we'll pass in a null. And we need props.query item query. And we need an item type, which doesn't matter. This is, say, root. We're never rendering this, so it won't matter. So we don't need this. Yeah. We don't need this. Oh, this is looking good. This is a good refactor. This is a good refactor. Yeah, I think this is solving the problems I worried about before. Now we have a real tree. Now we have a real tree. Okay. And we can put all the interesting logic inside the expandable node. That is exactly what I wanted. Okay. Beautiful. Now we just go fix expand item. All we do is we just say this.root.expand item. That's it. That's all we have to do. Beautiful, beautiful. Love it. Fact, we don't even need that. We didn't even need that function. We don't need it at all because what we do is in the connector, we say item any. Actually, we don't even need that. We just say item goes to this dot root dot expand item. Right. Even better. We have to do this because expand item is a function. I mean, I could declare it a different way, but this is the other way to make sure that this is bound properly inside that function. Okay, and there's a little more change to do, and that is it's this dot root dot children dot map. Yeah, I am so excited about this. Okay, a known item type. Excellent. Why are we getting that? We'll figure it out. So we are calling this go away. I don't want you to be up. All right. So, query item. We should not query item if item is null. That's a special condition for roots. And info is it. And why are we asking for info? We're asking for info. Oh, we need to make on the root. The root has a special query item. Yep. That's why. So we don't need to do special casing there. Just in the place where we create the root. Here. It can't be this. So it's a function. So the item query is a thing that takes an item and returns a Treeview item info. So in this case, this doesn't matter. Takes anything and it'll return a Treeview item info. And so values, make it look pretty. No. Where did I go? Okay. So we need it. It needs to be a tree view item info, but it's going to be special because let's go to tree view item info. We need to supply all of this stuff. Yep. Okay. The children is the item source. Yep. The renderer is something that returns null. And it doesn't like that. Fine. Just returns a div. And this div should be like weird because it should never display. Okay. Item source. Fine. Why are you? Oh, because it thinks it's code. Fine. There we go. Like that. Okay. I know we got something. Alright. The renderer shouldn't return anything. It should just return null. Okay, but it doesn't like that. Well, let's go to the definition and say it can be a JSX element or no. For the heck of it, it can also be a string or a number. Okay, and then this get child item type is just returns root. It returns this dot props dot get item type. Yep. And then the get key doesn't matter. We're just going to return it. This will never get called. Throw error should never call get key on tree view root. Duh. So you're not happy because you gotta do this. Fine. All right. Need a comma. Boom. All right. Ta-da! So the root's special because we have to construct it, and we have to make our own item info for the root that's special for the root, but everything else is hunky-dory. So close. So close. Why? Okay, so it's calling get key on the root. Why are you trying to render the root? Who's rendering the root? Oh, fine. Fine. No, why are you rendering the root? It's in the tree view, like 209. This is the root's children. And on the node, we're calling the get key on the node. That get key must be being passed down somehow. This.info get key. Yeah, for that node, that's right. And then the get key of the root is there. And I pass separate get keys for those guys. So why is it trying on item, whatever this is? Let's go JSON.stringify the item. It's like, what's going on here? Shouldn't be doing that. So on item name company employees, okay. So for some reason, the get key is overriding the get key of the children. So let's go to the expandable node. So we get the get key up here. And then when we do the children, we say we pass in the query item. Which is always this guy. I mean, we're always using. Oh no, we're not. We're not. Huh. Okay. Now we kind of worked ourselves into a little corner here. The query item, we made a different query item for the root. That's our problem. Okay, so we came here and we passed this query item, but this is not the query item we want for the children. We want the legit query item. So yeah, we're going to do this. This is going to need to be props.query item query. So we're going to pass this has to be passed through. But what we are going to do is we're going to create an optional parameter here at the end to say for this particular node, this is what you need to be for your query item. Like this is the item info that I want you to have. So in the expandable node, we can take the constructor for the expandable node. We can take an optional item info, which is a tree view item info or undefined, and it is equal to undefined by default. And then we say this dot info is equal to item info. So we can preempt it like that. So that'll fix the root case. There we go. Expand. Oh, so close. So close. Refresh. Okay, can we do this? Yes. Hooray. Okay. Why can we expand all? Yep. Boop, boop. Expand to. Cannot read properties of null, and it's reading name. Oh, there is no item name. Fine. There's no item there. This dot item. We're trying to expand something that is. Oh, the root is expanding. That's why the root's expanding. Oh, so close. We're almost there. We're almost there. Oh, I gotta leave soon. Cannot read properties of null. So Treeview, line 36. If value, well, yeah, I mean, save, refresh, expand. Oh, yeah. So, when we're calling expand node, oh, this dot expanded is true. That too. We can do this better. We can do one better here. Expand item. If this dot item is equal to item, then we'll say node dot expanded is equal to true. No. This dot expanded is true. Return this. There we go. Else, don't do that. We say for the children we expand you, and if it expanded, we want to expand ourselves and return n. There we go. Let's see if that works. Yes! Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Expanded what's in here, but now we could expand to a particular item, but yeah, so let's do that. Let's do it that way. So if there's expand item, so it'll find any item in the tree, and this will be expand to item. All right, so we only want to expand if the children have the item. So it's not going to have this. Okay, it's just going to have this. This dot children for each. So do. Okay. Expand to item. So this one's going to go. Yeah, this is where you can see the code getting cleaner because we have a proper structure here. We're going to say for all the children. Actually, we want to do a lookup. The simple case is here. If this dot nodemap dot contain nodemap dot has the item, if we have you, then we let's do this const found node is equal to this dot nodemap dot get item. Get. Okay, so if we found the node, then we say boop, boop, boop. This dot expanded is true. And we say return found node, found you. Then else we start digging. Okay. If expand to item on the child, we expand it and we return the node. And we'll say const found child node is equal to this guy. So it'll end up returning the node all the way down, found child node. If found child node do like this. All right. So now this is expand to employee 3. So this one should be expand to item. Oh, and we don't have it because we needed to give those back in the connector. Connect. All right. Connector, yeah. So it's somewhere down here in the connect method. Here, let's see. Connect. On the did mount, we return the connector with some functions. I in this node expand to, and then go to the definition. This connector has expand item, a connector. What am I doing? Yeah, it's a function that takes an expand item. Do. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix this later, so it's kind of ugly. And expand to item. So why don't we do this? We'll export an interface here. Export interface. We'll call this tree node control. Yeah. And it's going to have that in it. 2 kinds of functions. Do it properly, like so, and these will return an tree node control, like that. Boom, boom, or undefined or null. I like null because it means it's like there really is nothing. Okay, so expand to item is going to do this, and so the connector is going to be a function that passes a node control, which is an tree node control. Oops. Tree node control. Boom. And returns void. Okay, so that's the function that's going to connect us. That's going to basically connect us in an abstract way to the root node. So this expandable node implements tree node, tree node control. And it's happy, so and it's just going to expose these 2 methods, expand item, and which needs to return null. You're good there. And it doesn't like that. This type expandable node is not assignable to the iTree node control one. It's not assignable to type iTree node control or null. The type this or null is not assignable to type iTree node control or null. Return this as an iTree node control. Does that work? This returns an iTree node control or null. Okay, there we go. So this guy also returns that. And just return null here. Okay. So now we come down here and we just say we have a function connector that takes this dot root. There we go. So now I just have to, anytime I want to give the outside people control of my control, I can expand iTree node control. Get rid of that. Okay, now I've got a bunch of turds. What do we got here? I'm searching. Stop searching. Okay, good. But we have an error in our app. So the app. So instead of having this expand item, we have a we'll call this the node control, which is an iTree node control, and it could be defined, and then we say this dot node control, so like that. iTree node control is no, is this guy. Okay, and now we can use the node control. So we'll say this dot node control expand item. This dot node control expand to item. There we go. That's prettier. That's nicer. Cleaner. Save it. Refresh. Just make sure we got everything. Expand to. Yes. There it is. Employee 6. And we could even like the expand to could even select the employee, etc. So this is nice. Could the root would have a selected item. Anyway, thinking ahead. That's actually a pretty great stopping place. So all right, so let's recap. What we did today is by playing with these particular functions, we're trying, by playing with these particular functions, it forced us to rethink the structure of the tree view control. And what we realized is that this expandable node was not well connected to its expandable node children. And I had put some of that functionality into the tree view control itself here. And what we ended up doing was saying we'll either provide the tree view control with a real expandable node, or we'll provide an item source, and then we'll construct an artificial root for the tree view control, so that the managing of the tree view control is consistent, and it's done through this expandable node class, which handles what we'd call the business logic of the tree view control. It's what thinks about expanding children, how to like handle the renderer and or get at renderers and work out types and templating and stuff like that. All of that logic is handled inside this expandable node abstractly, and the real rendering, the actual tree view control itself is pretty tiny. It's only from like 144 to 250, so it's less than half the file, and it's only considering how to render this sucker, and it's all done based off of the expandable node. So fantastic! This is good progress. So I'll check that in, and it'll be up on the GitHub site. I'll show you the link to that again if you want to look at it. This is my GitHub location for all my learning projects, and this particular one is in this subdirectory. All right, thanks everybody for watching, and catch you later. Oh, my camera.